One of my favorite all-time dies is this Bitty Ball pop-up die from Burniston, especially when it is used to double up and make animals and critters of many kinds. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik and I love to make interactive cards for kids of all ages. This is the card that I'm going to show you how to make in this video. Just look at what happens when this Cookie Monster birthday card is opened. See who pops up? A double Bitty Ball Cookie Monster. And I'm going to show you how to make this. If you're a regular follower, you probably remember seeing this in another video, but I didn't show how to make it, and I've made some other animals and critters too that I'm going to share for you. I personally like the Bitty Ball size more than the original surprise ball size of dies because they fit into card bases so much more easily. But of course it's a personal preference, and you can use the surprise ball on the bottom and then the Bitty Ball on the top. But I'm currently making most of my critters with two Bitty Balls. And here is how I made this card. I started with a yellow card base, and it is 12 by 5 3/4, and I scored it at 2 and 7, and then I trimmed just a little bit off the bottom. In the inside, I'm not going to show you all the steps because otherwise this would get to be a very long video, but I took a really fun stencil from Tailored Expressions, and I used blue ink and faded out towards the bottom and put happy, happy, happy. And this birthday is part of a die from an older die from Penny Black. And I even have some adorable little Cookie Monster sprinkles. This is Cat Scrappiness. C is for Cookie Sprinkles, and it has Cookie Monster and cookies in there, and I can definitely see a Cookie Monster shaker card is in my future, but I just used it to add some adorable little Cookie Monsters there on the inside. I have created a punch art Cookie Monster for the front of the card. Basically I just took a bunch of circle punches and dies, and I have a slightly scalloped one from Tonic there, different sizes for the eyes, a cut one down for the mouth, and of course I made a cookie for him and used another scallop for a bite out of there. So that's going to be on the front of the card. I have two sets of basic gray magnets that I'm going to use. Now, there are other ways to close these cards, but especially when it's for a child, I like to use magnets and hide them. That makes it easiest for them to open it. It does get a little pricey with the magnets, but well worth it when you were to see the child's face open up this really fun card. Then I have some other pieces that I'm going to put on the front. So we are going to start by putting the magnets on. So Cookie Monster is going to hide the magnets, at least the top one anyway, and then underneath we have a piece of card stock that will hide that one. And one magnet probably wouldn't be enough to hold it. So I am going to attach if I put this one here, let's try it this way. This is a adhesive magnet, but sometimes depending on how they go together I have to use a glue dot. That's not a problem. So I'm going to put one here, and then if you, oh, yep, that's going to happen, not a problem. then you just attach it underneath, and then I will take a glue dot on there. Just press it down, and we'll just use this too. Okay, and then, well, I shouldn't have done that, should I have? Because it would stick right now. Okay, we're also going to attach one a little lower, about there, and then both of them together will hold this closed. If I can get them apart. And we're going to attach Cookie Monster over those magnets. And then this one has adhesive on it. Gonna have to fix that. Be right back. Okay, it just took me a minute to figure that out. I have two sets of magnets. I have the upper one covered with a circle, as you wouldn't want to leave any of these magnets out uncovered that a child or anyone else might get at. And I am going to cover the bottom ones up with this pattern paper, and then when it closes, the magnets hold it shut. I have a birthday cut for down here, and I put some glue on there, which will dry clear. And then I have printed on my computer, "Me thinks it's your birthday," which is what Cookie Monster would say, right? And then to finish out the front, I have 3 of the cookies from that sprinkle mix with glue dots on them. So the front is completed. And now we're going to work on the inside of the card. For each double balled critter, you will cut 2 of the main piece of the bitty ball, and then you can choose whether or not to layer on each arm, I guess you would say, another layer. It is, I do advise it, it makes it a little stronger. And what I did was I took the Stampin' Up! Old World embossing folder, and I embossed each one of those layer pieces, and it does make it look more textured, and not really like fur, but kind of like skin or something. So I do like adding another layer, and often I emboss it. So I've completed one of the 2, and then I'm going to show you how I do this. And of course you can watch Karen Burniston's videos too. So I am using a slightly not quite a strong piece of cardstock. It was the only blue that I had. So what I did was I cut 4 extras of the tabs, and I am going to reinforce these longer tab pieces with an extra one of these, and that will make sure that the rubber band doesn't tear it. So depends on the weight you're using. If you're using like a 110-pound or a heavy weight, you probably wouldn't need to do this. But again, the only blue I had was a lighter weight. So I suggest doing that if your cardstock is a little lighter. Now on each one of these, you can see that there are 2 longer tabs, and they have a slit in them, and then the other ones have shorter tabs. And the first thing you're going to do when you're working with this is you're going to push down on all the score lines. So each one of these tabs you're going to fold on the score lines. And then on the 2 with the longer slits, there are some extra pieces here that are meant to reinforce them. So what I do is I glue them down, and I use some clips to hold them in place while the glue sets up. Now, Karen Burniston, of course, has videos on how to put all her dies together, and those are where I learned, of course. And then she also has a Facebook group, and the members of that Facebook group have put out tons of different ideas with these bitty balls and surprise balls, and so I highly suggest that you join if you're interested in getting a lot of ideas. Now, I did leave one of these embossed pieces off just to show that I just take some glue and glue it on. And while that is setting up, I'll show you the rubber band that I use. I have a big bag of rubber bands of all different sizes, and for mine, I've come to learn that this size here, which is about 1 3/8, is a good size for this smaller bitty ball. And so I just take all the rubber bands out of the bag that have about this size, and that works well for me. I have also cut a curvy, wavy, square piece from Whimsy stamps to put our Cookie Monster through when we're done. And one of the 2 bottom ones, you want to, well, you don't have to, but I do. I put a brad from the inside to the outside. So that's used to attach it to whatever you're attaching it to. Now, you can glue it, but I think it's kind of fun that it will spin a little. And so that's generally what I do, and I just take a big old brad and put it through while I'm doing this setup. So now we are ready. You're going to take your 2 pieces, and you're looking for 2 slots that have the opening on the same side. So these 2 here have the opening to the left, and I'm going to take some glue and line those 2 tabs up, and then you want to make sure that this slot still opens because it's lined up perfectly, and then I'm going to clip on here to set that up as well. I have completed the top half, which of course has a piece on the top and then has his eyes with various punches and then his big grin, his smile, and that is ready to go. And I have done 2 arms and 2 legs with a piece of that die, and those are ready to go. And I have a cookie for him to eat. These should be, I would think, set up. Making sure that that tab, that slit, is not glued shut. Then you just take your rubber band and you push it in that slot until it clicks in the center. Now, one tip that Karen Burniston gives, and it's a very good one, is once you do this first tab, when you want to attach the rest of the little tabs, go in the direction that does not have the slit. So this has a slit going this way. I'm going to go this way, and when we go to attach the other part of the rubber band, that makes it a lot easier. I don't use glue on all of these little tabs. I'm too impatient to wait for all of them to set up. So I choose to use score tape on these little tabs, and that's worked well for me. So I am going to do that. Of course, you always have to work at getting the cover of those off, but I think it's still easier than waiting for the glue to set up. So we're just lining those up and pushing. Okay, so now we are at the next long tab with the slits, and I am going to take my glue and again line that up and use my clips to let that set up. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to set up, I will show you another card that I recently made. This one is a frog birthday card. I had a special request for a young lady who loves frogs, so when it opens, look at who pops up. I just love these. They're so much fun. Now, I mentioned Karen Burniston's Facebook group, and one of the members there had made a frog, and it was similar to this, so I was inspired by that. And there wasn't any way to link that, but if you join the Facebook group and you do a search, you can search frogs, or you can search Cookie Monster. I don't know if there's any other out there. That one was kind of an original by me. I had not been inspired by another one there, but this one is a frog. Okay, so now we're going to take these last 2 pieces and just lift them out of the way, and you can see that you have a rubber band in there, and then you have this tab over here, and you're going to just take the rubber band and stretch it over to that tab and push it until it clicks in place. Okay, and then it should pop open and closed. I'm going to remove these last few pieces of score tape, and you try to line these up pretty perfectly, because if you don't, then you're going to have more gaps than you want. So I suggest always, if you're making your first one, use some paper you just really don't care about. and just make a sample and play around and get it, you know, so that you kind of understand it, and then you can try a Cookie Monster or a frog or something. So now you can see that that is going to pop open and closed. Okay, so I have my top and my bottom, and I am going to use glue to put these together. And then the best way to do that is to make that flat and then make this flat and line those two up, and we're going to push down and use a clothespin to hold that while the glue is setting up. I have one more to show you while we're waiting for that. I thought it would be really cute to make a monkey. I took instructions that Karen Burniston has on her YouTube channel and what she taught recently, and made this cool way to have the card open and close. You use acetate on that part, and because it is a monkey, I have a monkey joke, and it says, "What is invisible and smells like bananas?" The magnets are hidden in this one under that, and a cute monkey pops up. And what's the answer to that joke? Monkey farts. Little boys, little girls, big boys, whomever would find that joke funny. So I put a joke on the front. I gave him a banana, and he is a adorable monkey. And again, I learned how to make this monkey by Karen Burniston in her Facebook group. So I can't link it unless you're a member, but you can take a look there if you're looking for specific instructions. All the details on these cards, of course, will be on my blog, and all the links to the products I used will be in my description box as well. So he is together, and we are going to take glue dots to put his feet and his arms and his cookie on. So so we want one foot coming out there. And another foot coming out there. And then his arms are just going to be on the side there. Now these glue dots are a little bit bigger, but they're nice and strong. So I am going to fold them under so they don't show. And they'll hold it together, because you would anticipate that a child will be opening and closing this many times, a child of any age, right? So you want to make sure everything is on there nice and strong. I put the glue dot on the wrong side. Well, gonna have to fix that, but this arm is going to go on this side. But I will have to cover that up, make another one, but I can show that in the pictures later. In the meantime, we will attach a cookie. He'll just be a one-armed Cookie Monster for now, but that's easy enough to fix. I just don't want to take the time right now. So our Cookie Monster is pretty much done, and we're going to fold him flat and open up the brads on the bottom and put it through the green piece that's going to hold him in place, but you can see that he can spin if you would like him to. And then we're going to add glue. You could use the brad to attach this to the middle of the card, but then it will show on the back, so then you'd have to cover it. That's not a problem. But in this case, I'm just going to use glue to attach it. And you're going to want him to be in this part of centered in there. And then once again, use some clips if you can. I don't know if that's going to reach, but some clips to get that glue to set up. So our card is complete. Of course, when they open it, they're going to see Cookie Monster and Happy Birthday, and then it is pushed down and closed with magnets. Me think it's your birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. These cards do take a little while to complete, but seeing the joy on a child's face when Cookie Monster or a frog or a monkey pops up makes it worthwhile every minute spent. I hope my cards inspire you to give these products and ideas a try. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.